special guest tonight, guys, is one of the top golf coaches in the country. His name is Michael Cunningham, aka Doc Blade. And so, if you haven't had a chance to see Doc Blade, he's got some awesome information out on Facebook. He's got 30 years of teaching experience with elite and some of the top junior players. He's a lead golf instructor at Sugar Creek. And, you know, for those of you that don't know, Sugar Creek is one of those courses in Atlanta that's really up and coming. And you got Richard Degree, who's the GM down in Atlanta. And Mike is also a U.S. Kids certified coach, director of Golf Your Way system. He's doing some big things, studied under the legendary Jimmy Woods. Okay. Not sure if y'all know who Jimmy Woods is, but he studied under Jimmy Woods. One of the big things that Mike is all about is, making sure that you trust the process. So what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to give it up for our guest tonight on the Black Junior Golf Podcast. Let's give it up for Doc Blade. What's going on, Doc? All right, Doc, you there? You got to unmute your mic, Doc. You got to start your video and you got to unmute your mic. There we go. Okay, we got your video, and then you need to take your mic off, Doc.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. So welcome to the podcast, Doc Blade. What's up, bro?
Welcome up. What's up, baby? What's on? Busy day today.
Busy day.
Lesson T from morning to evening.
I know, man. You've been busy. I've been following your posts, and I know you've been having a lot of the kids out there at Sugar Creek, and you're doing some awesome things, man. I wanted you to come on the show and just talk to us a little bit about, the state of junior golf. And I got a couple questions I want to ask you. But, man, just kind of talk to us a little bit about, Doc, how you got started. I know it's been 30 years or so, but, man, talk to us a little bit about how you got started in the game of golf.
Wow. Well, I got started the old-fashioned way. My pops took me, all of us, he introduced us to it in Cincinnati and Avon Woods. He would just take us to the driving range and everything all the time, right? And it was a private club, McAtee. Old Jack Grout was the pro. Jack Grout was Jack Nicklaus' coach, right?
Oh, wow.
So I started off caddying, right there for me. And the thing about it, I could I could caddy at the course, but I couldn't play the course. So you're talking about somebody who used to climb the fence and play hole 5, 6, and 7, and then, run off the course, And so that's what I did. I got into golf the old-fashioned way, through caddying and seeing the old people around and the old UGA members, man, like Jimmy Woods, man. Jimmy Woods still got courses named after him in the Midwest, man. He still holds records left-handed and right-handed, man. This guy was amazing, man. Put it like this, when Jack and all those guys was in town, man, they wouldn't mess with Jimmy, man, because Jimmy was dangerous, man. He could golf his ball. He would play you right-handed and then say, let's play back left-handed, for your money back. And a lot of people didn't know he kept a left-handed set in the clubhouse, man.
Wow.
And he go out there and shoot 70 left-handed and 63 right-handed, So I got into it that way. My father got us into it. All of us, introduced us into it. And then I followed, just wanted to be around the people, and I wanted to be teaching it. So when I started teaching it, I was in the Marine Corps. I was volunteering and started the YMCA, started from the grassroots. American golf, where it all really started when I started making an income from it, you're talking about putting carts away, trying to do lessons, cutting grass, planting flowers, putting mulch out, the whole 9 yards, and I went the PGA route at first, right?
Right.
But back then it wasn't no access for African Americans,
Wow.
So what I did, man, I stuck a sign on top of a door, man, and built it one customer at a time, because it just wasn't access for us, the PGA route. Thank God it is now, but back then, man, you got PGA and man, you didn't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get nothing, man. We were blackballed, man.
Wow.
It was a tough route, extremely tough route. Whereas now, I see that the routes are opening back up, They have a college route for them. You know, there's got a lot of different avenues and everything. But we still have to be vigilant out there, okay? We
Yeah.
still have to be vigilant and make sure that we recognizing the people before us, man. Like James Black, man. I used to sit up there with James Black hour after hour after hour after hour, man, just watching them hit balls, man. You know what I'm saying? Little John, man, you know what I'm saying? Watching them hit balls and stuff, you know. I moved to Florida just so I could be under Calvin Pete, bruh. That's how much I fell in love with this game, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
What part of Florida was that, Doc?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Well, OP, Orange Park, but a lot of people didn't know where Orange Park were, so we say Jacksonville, you know what I'm saying? But now more people know where Orange Park is.
Well, good, man. Good, man. You got some great history within you, man. I know you've seen a lot, you've learned a lot. And man, I guess, you know, the thing that I wanted to ask you, I had a couple of questions for you. And then what I'm going to do
Okay.
is I'm going to open it up in about 15, 20 minutes for some Q&A. We got a lot of junior parents on tonight. And of course, you know, this podcast is going to go out to about 7-8 different platforms. And so I wanted to ask you, Doc, as you see the juniors coming up right now, I know you're seeing some special juniors out there. What are some of the things that you're teaching your juniors right now in terms of what it's going to take to go to that next level?
Wow, great question. You know, this is something that a lot of times that us as a people, we don't recognize what it's going to take to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I like to say, you know what, it's the parent-child connection. And if you don't have the parent-child connection, you got to have a strong parent figure in that relationship, okay? Because let me tell you right now, the best way to say this, when you see other communities that are successful,
Mm-hmm.
that parent is putting a lot of time into that child.
Wow.
He or she is giving up a lot of their own personal growth to make sure that child is growing, okay? You know, to make sure that child can hit balls, to make sure that child can get to the tournaments, can make sure, you know, I may not be able to get this pair of shoes, but I know what, my child is going to have this new pair of golf shoes, or he may need a 7-iron because he grown out of the set we just bought 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a lot of parent-child connection to make this happen. Time on task, and most of the time on task, people think it's the player, but it's the parent also. We need the parent to be involved, and if the parent's not involved, we need a strong mentor that's going to step in there and be like that parent.
Right. And that's key. That's key what you're talking about, Doc. So, Doc, let me ask you this: when it comes to the kids, you know, the parents is, you know, we're giving up a lot of time, and I know you see, I know you see a lot of mistakes that a lot of the parents make, you know, with their kids. What are some of the mistakes that you see some parents make as it relates to junior golf with their kids?
Two things that I could really notice that I see all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I talk to my parents about, and that's one thing that we have to do. That the coach has to have a good relationship with the parent to be able to tell them. I was having a lesson last week, and the child was doing really good, right? So I went down there, you know, just to stand back and watch him hit balls, you know, just to check them out, you know, because I want to make sure that they're getting on his own. And the father didn't know it, but I picked up on the father trying to give the child some alternative tips, you know, some alternative tips. And the child got so frustrated, you know, so make sure that we're on the same page as the coach, right? Yeah. And that's all you have to do is just have talk with the coach and say, look, when I'm out here practicing with my child, make sure the parent is giving the same type language, whatever it is, that the parent and child and the coach are all on the same page, all right? The second thing is realistic expectations, okay?
Yeah.
We all think we have the best, most athletic, most gifted child in the world. The reality is we don't, okay? You know, but talent can be superseded by hard work, by time on task, okay? So we can get you there, you know, long as the child has the enthusiasm, we can get you there, but don't think that if your child is not achieving the goals that you think they're supposed to be achieving, that it's the coach's fault. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we live in through our children,
Yeah.
you know, but we got to see if that's what the child really wants to do, you know? So make sure that we have realistic expectations, and also make sure that you're using the same language that the coach is using when you're out there by yourself, because we do spend a lot of time with our children, taking them to the golf course, walking behind them, taking them to tournaments, taking them to practice on the putting green, on the driving range with them, and just make sure that we're using the same language.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, Doc, you know, with golf can be a very expensive sport.
Yes.
What are some of the what are some suggestions that you would have for the junior parents tonight to make sure that, you know, of course, golf is expensive and you don't want it to necessarily break the bank, but what are some tips that you would give our parents tonight in terms of, you know, how to navigate through you know, coaching, through, you know, how to navigate through playing tournaments, how to navigate through purchasing clubs? You know, what are some different suggestions you would give the parents on the podcast tonight?
Okay, what I would do, I would form a network, but I would make sure that I'm involved with first certain programs like Youth on the Course. That way you have access to the golf course, okay? You know, so make sure that your parents are out there, that you get involved with Youth on the Course, and you can go online and check it out, and you'll see there's courses, maybe a course like 5 minutes from you that you didn't even know. You know, I know in South Carolina, they got them in Beaufort and Charlotte and all over
Yeah.
the place, you know. Even down in Hilton Head, you know, they have it, you know, and every city has it, you know, and it's only $5 to get your child out there. Now, here's the deal, though. Hook up with your local county. There's courses like here in Atlanta, we have access to courses. We have access to the manufacturers, right? Bridgestone, Mizuno, and things like that, all right? So what we're doing, we formed a relationship with them where we just picked up 6 bags of clubs, you know, that my good buddy Nairi, you know, called us up and said, hey, you know, for First Tee, he said, hey, we're getting all new clubs over here. So, hey, we're going to help you guys out, right? So we picked up 6 bags of Nike clubs, you know what I'm saying? From driver down to wedges with the bags, you know what I'm saying? So there's access out there. So the parents need to make sure they stay in touch with the proper people, and a closed fist don't receive nothing, and a closed mouth stays unfed, okay? So humble yourself and let people know you need a little help out there, because it can get expensive. And access is our biggest issue. Access is our biggest issue, you know, in golf for us as a people. Is just having the ability to do these things, you know. Hook up with a golf course. If you're a little bit older in the junior age, you can get with a golf course like what we have. When I'm out there coaching, I'll get my younger adults, you know, juniors, they're 14, 15 years old. I'll get them to help volunteer when I'm working with my young juniors, my pee-wees, you know.
Mhm.
Well, guess what that does? It gives them access to practice. It gives them access to play.
Right.
Okay. So that alleviates another financial burden on that family right there. They volunteer an hour that day. You know, they may come out and wash their cart, you know, hang out with the cart guys and stuff, but it gives them access, you know. And there are programs out there. Make sure if you want your child to be on a tournament schedule, to find out who's sponsoring that tournament and reach out to them and ask them how many exemptions do they have, you know. And a lot of times they'll say, hey, we have 6 exemptions. We may not have 0 exemptions, but there's people out there that's promoting people. We're trying to raise money every year. And what we do, we'll say, hey, you know, we're going to have 6 kids playing these tournaments, you know. So just make sure you're reaching out and asking about it. Don't be afraid to ask. Ask about the programs that's out there.
That's exactly right, Doc. Appreciate you sharing that information. And so,
You're
Doc,
welcome.
what are some of the things that you teach the juniors as it relates to the mental part of golf? You know, golf is it can be a mean sport. It can be at times a frustrating sport. What would you say were some of the key tips that you teach the juniors? You know, how to stay mentally focused, how to stay mentally tough, because as again, it can be tough. You can be upset. So what are some of the tips that you share with your juniors?
Okay, what I do positive reinforcement. Anybody who's seen my videos when I work with my children, work with my juniors, I always do positive reinforcement. What I do, I want all my students to start a journal, and I recommend that all the parents out there start a positive golf journal.
Okay.
And the only thing that goes in that positive golf journal is positive things, okay? So after practice session, whatever your coach worked with you on, just jot down 2 or 3 positive things. What's going to happen is you're going to build your ground zero swing, okay? You're going to look back and you're going to notice there's certain things you keep on doing positive, right? All right, here's the key. Now, this is something that's a sea change in thinking, but you know what? I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to share this with everybody, all right? This is so important because I don't want no parent to go down the rabbit hole of mechanical instruction where they keep on looking for the golden grail of the golf swing. Once you build your golf swing, you don't lose that skill set, okay? What we lose is the ability to tap into that skill set. That's what we don't work on. That's that mental that Roy talking about right there. That mental, the ability to tap into that. And the way we tap into that is by building a solid pre-shot routine, okay? Work on your breathing techniques, play one hole at a time, one shot at a time, and let it go. Once that shot is gone, that shot is gone. Take a deep breath, go back to your pre-shot routine, and get back over the ball and focus on what you have in front of you at that moment, at that time. But that's a skill set that needs to be worked on. And you work on that every time you out practicing, every time you out golfing. Do not micromanage your swing. Every time you hit a ball, don't say, was my grip right? Was my swing right? Was my pressure right? Was my, did I get to the top of the swing? Did I release? Did I use, alpha torque or negative torque? Don't macromanage your swing. Sometimes we just had a bad swing. Let it go. Okay? Let it go.
All right. And Doc, let me ask you this. We're gonna open up the lines in just a few minutes. Who are some of your favorite players on the PGA Tour?
I only have one, Tiger Woods.
Good. Good enough. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I have one favorite player, and I have other ones that I like looking at.
Right.
But I have one. I'm gonna tell you. This. I share this with a lot of people, but I only watch golf when Tiger playing. Okay.
Right. He'll be playing in a couple of weeks.
Right. If Tiger's not playing, man, I won't even turn it on. But I will turn on the LPGA. Right. I like watching the LPGA. Okay. The LPGA has a more realistic golf game. They really do. You can learn a lot from them. I recommend that my students watch a lot of LPGA golf because of their rhythm, tempo, and timing. And they'll see a more realistic golf right there.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what are some of your favorite courses across the country, Doc?
Pinehurst, Spyglass, Pine Valley. Wow, the Robert Trent Jones, the whole trail. I love the Robert Trent Jones whole trail.
That's in Alabama, right?
Yeah, down through Alabama.
Right.
Yep. Pebble. I like courses like that. But I really like the U.S. Open courses also. Not the U.S. Open courses, but the Open courses. I like link style course on golf. A lot of people don't think it's pretty golf because of the courses, but I like that kind of golf where you gotta, bump your ball in there. You gotta, flight your balls, and you gotta, use your imagination. I like courses that force your imagination.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. And so Doc, what we're going to do at this time, man, we're going to open it up for some Q&A. You got a couple minutes to take some questions?
Yes, I do.
All right, good. All right, y'all. For those of you that are part of the live podcast tonight, let's open up the lines for some questions for Doc Blade, ultimate teacher, U.S. Kids certified. Any questions for Doc Blade tonight?
Mr. Doc, my son is through U.S. Kids and PGA also, Junior League. Have you had kids or young golfers that started at the age, say, 5 and went all the way to 18 and went out on a U.S. Kids golf scholarship, or do they all sponsor that, or can you give me more insight on that?
Yeah, well, here's the deal with that. That's another great question. I love these questions like this. All right. The way it happens, and it's really strange, okay, is that I have kids right now playing at Prairie View, playing at other college, okay, that started off in the U.S. Kids program and everything, right? But what happened, the way they got to the next level to play really high competitive golf was they had to get involved with the state sanctioned golf bodies. Okay, that's who's going to give you the points and the recognition to go ahead and why is this not working? Hold on, let me plug this in. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
There you go. That's who's going to give you the recognition and the points to play in the next level of golf. So make sure that you involved in your state sanctioned events, okay? Because that's going to be the ones that's going to have the powers that be that's going to allow you to get in there and get those points and be able to play on the next level and for colleges and everything to look at you. The U.S. Kids and First Tee and everything, places like that, they're great avenues to get you going to golf and everything. U.S. Kids, they got tournaments all the way. Actually, people don't even know U.S. Kids even got daggone golf tournaments for 18 to 21-year-olds that a lot of people didn't even know about that, but they actually have golf tournaments for that, you know, and they very tough tournaments. You have more U.S. Kids golf playing PGA golf and LPGA golf than any other organization. You know, that's how competitive it is. But make sure they being involved with the tournaments, not just involved with U.S. Kids. Make sure they're being involved with the U.S. Kids golf tournaments in the international organization, okay?
All right. That's a good question. Good question.
Thank you, sir.
Next question for Doc Blade. Anybody else got any questions for Doc?
Hey, how's it going? I have a question.
How you doing?
Hey, Doc. My name's Kevin Cox. I'm pretty new to the group. I'm new to the golf world here. I have a 5-year-old daughter. She's pretty much head first into golf. Everything is golf at this point. And I want to be able to balance. I don't want to be able to burn her out, but she's to the point where everything she wants to do is golf. So how do you manage that and have that fine line between having fun with it and not going overboard? Because at this point, she wants to go every day. And I don't want to be that guy that's like, every day you got to be out here, because at this point, it's just for her to have fun, right? And I just want to make sure that she's not, I need advice as far as how to manage her not overdoing it, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, that's another great question. Here's what I do. I let the child be the determining factor, okay? If that child wants to get out there and go every day and hit balls or putt and chip and things like that, and you got the time for it to happen, then let it happen. I got a couple kids, they out there every single day. They parents stop what they're doing and, you know, and tell them, hey, let's go. You know, then I have the other kids that's grabbing the parent and say, hey, Dad, can you drop me off? You know, you don't even have to stay with me. So I let the child be the determining factor, okay? And as long as that child, and this is something that, a lot of people don't understand. Let the fun factor be your metric, the fun factor. If that child is having fun and they smile and they laughing, let them keep doing it. Don't interrupt it, okay? At the same token, if that day come when they say, I don't want to practice, I don't want to do it this day, just remember all those days when they did want to and just let it go, okay? It's going to balance out. It really is.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. That's perfect advice. I mean, because right now, if I say no, she's going to cry on my lap. So every day I'm out there like, come on, let's go. So
yeah, let it happen. And a little prodigy, let it happen.
Perfect.
Thank
you.
Hey, Kevin,
you're welcome.
I just want to say, when John started out at 3, what we did was we did a balance of 2 sports. He played basketball for 6 months, and then he did golf for 6 months. And as he got older, we started doing golf for 9 months and basketball for 3 months in the cold, in the winter. And then it kind of slowly phased out where, he's just doing mostly golf now. So yeah, I would suggest, maybe have another sport, in there, and, have a good balance of maybe 2 or 3 sports. and then let the chips fall where they may, And so that's what I would say about that, Kev. All right. Any other questions for Doc Blake, y'all? Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
I don't know.
Okay.
How you doing?
Corey? You on, Corey?
Yeah. I wanted to just make a kind of a comment that responds to that a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because the position I'm in, but I don't even know how to find the balance between fun anymore for Camden, because he's experienced winning and he's experienced high level golf, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to win. So at this point, I don't even know if he can go out and play a round of golf that's just a fun round of golf. It's business for him when he steps on that golf course. And so I don't even know what the balance is at this point, to be honest with you, because you can say, go and let him have fun at this golf tournament, let him swing, let him do it, let him just go and have fun. But then if he's, he wants to perform, that's where he is in his development. And so I don't know what is that balance for a 7-year-old who takes golf, and when I say seriously, I mean, clearly he plays as a kid, he goes outside and do all of, everything that another kid does. But when he's on the golf course, I mean, he's not trying to go out there and just have kid fun. It's just not in his DNA. And so I don't even know how to balance that.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good comment. I think we lost Doc Blade. He'll probably get back on in a second. But yeah, Corey, you're exactly right, man. That's he may be trying to get back in now. But yeah, that's Cam is, I think, Corey, we all know Cam is special. He's going to do something great in the game of golf. And like you said, when he's out there, he's out there to win. He's out there to totally dominate. And that's a special kid right there, man. He's doing some great things out there. So,
and so I guess even when I say that, I mean, and it's not even so much for just Doc Blade. It's kind of a question for some of, Maurice and Mark, who have kids who play at a high level.
Right.
These kids have developed, and they're competing at the highest level as a teenager. Mm-hmm. How did y'all balance that?
Okay, Mark, Maurice, y'all want to take that question?
I mean, like with me is, I kind of like what Doc said. Like, I believe everything will level out. Like, if you got a kid that want to play, and you got the time, you let them play as much as they want. You don't. If you got the time, you will burn out. I'm telling you, all y'all. I'm telling you, you're gonna burn out before your kid burns out. If your kid burns out, they not good. They never was good enough. That's just facts. You will get tired of taking them to practice before they get tired of practicing. Right. My son been playing golf almost every day since he was 4 years old. And I tell him every day, I said, man, I'm like driving Miss Daisy, bro. I can't wait till he can drive. Like, I can't wait. Yeah. Like, it's like on my calendar, man, one day he gonna be able to take himself to practice. Like, I'm tired of it. I'll be honest. But sometimes I'm motivated. But this time of the year, I'm like off-season mode. Like, I don't want to fuck with golf right now. But I still got to take him. So, I mean, he's 14. I've been doing this since we've been playing tournament golf since he was 5. You know what I'm saying? So, I've been doing this almost 10 years. And if you got a daughter that want to play every day, man, especially with the girls, man, because if you got a girl that's good, it's easier than it is if you got a boy that's good. So you got to feed that girl. Because girls, I still don't know if my son good enough yet. But at 12, if you got a dog girl, she going, where she going to school. She can do what she want to do. At 12 or 13, it takes a little bit longer for boys because it's too competitive. So, I mean, I think y'all all doing it right. My little friend Cox, she be out there. I see her on the gram every day. She balling. Of course, Cam balling. So, I mean, y'all ain't doing nothing wrong, man. Just let them play golf, man. It's gonna be, they having fun. That's what y'all gotta understand. This shit is fun to them. Fuck they want to do. Kids don't play no more. What they gonna do? Go play horseshoes or some shit? Dominoes? Yeah. They want to play. Let them play. Get as much as you can before she lose interest.
Yeah, I echo the same thing with Mark, man. is when you've got that special kid and they've got that fire and desire, you got to feed it, man. I mean, they could be doing so many other different things, but we know when the golf bug gets you, man, it got you. And there's a lot more opportunity. You can play this game the rest of your life, and you can build relationships and all that. So if he was out there and he wants to play, man, let him play. I encourage Kendall, but also challenge Kendall to play at a higher level against other competition, even for practice. I mean, you can't always be the best person out there because iron sharpens iron. So you've got to find that person. You've got to find that person that they can challenge themselves and not always be the best one out there, because that's the only way they're going to grow.
All right. Thank you, Maurice, for that. And then we got Jamie on. Jamie was a top junior, top collegiate player. Jamie, any advice for balance? Having that balanced life as a junior golfer.
I would just say I agree with what everyone said in regards to just having fun. But I had a conversation. It's funny we're having this talk with someone who was talking about wanting to get a coach to put their players in the right tournament, especially if they've not played tournament golf. And what I said was the key to me that I learned years later, finished playing junior golf, is that, if you want to get your child to a level where they're being recognized nationally and scouted out, they need to get a gen handicap, and they also need to be playing, AJGA, and they need to be on the U.S. junior rankings. And I say that specifically because when I had to pick the top 2 boy and girl 14-year-olds in the country to represent us in France, that's the 2 lists I looked at. I didn't look at nothing else. So they may not have been and probably were not the best 14-year-old boy and girls necessarily in the country, but because they were on those lists, those are the people I picked. And that's how people are being found, even by coaches. They're being found online as opposed to going to events and being scouted out. So you got to make sure that they have a real handicap and that they're on these lists so that people can find them. And as far as tournaments, if they're not in tournament golf yet, put them in it. First of all, start off, small, but of course, once they get that bug, the thing that my mom did the best, and I will always be grateful for, is after I beat up on the black kids in my black junior golf program for a year or two, she said, all right, I'm gonna put you in with the country club kids and play those tournaments. And then I got my butt kicked, and it's a reality for me. And a lot of people are afraid to do that because they don't want their kid to get discouraged. But if you don't do that, they won't get the reality check they need to know if they need to work on their game a little bit harder and see what those kids are doing to keep their game up. Because I can tell you right now, I was a kid who played 18 holes and went home and took a nap. The kids who beat me, they stayed after beating me and practiced. Wow. And made that clear to me very early on. It didn't make me feel good to hear that, but it was clear that they wanted it way more than I did. And so I recognized that I needed to do that if I wanted to be at their level.
Awesome, Jamie. Thank you for sharing that too. All right, I got Doc Blade back. What's up, Doc? Let's get you unmuted. All right, any other questions for Doc Blade, y'all? Any other questions for Doc?
I got a response I want to talk about.
Oh, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, one of the I forgot who it was, but he just said something that was very important that we don't talk about. But he said, you'll know with a girl, pretty fast, if she's gonna be able to play, higher level golf versus with a boy. And that's so true. I had a lesson today with a 10-year-old girl, and I told the parent, your child is going to be able to play college golf without a doubt in my mind, as long as she keeps her interests up, okay? Right. It wasn't a doubt in my mind that this girl was going to be able to play college golf because of the skill set and because of the competition with the girls out there, was going to put her in there. Now, I have some boys, I got one of the top junior golfers right now. He's playing some serious golf. And I told him, I said, you playing some serious golf, but like Jamie just said, I said, you have to get on these 2 lists right here. And, but what she said is flat out correct. You have to get on these lists because that's where they picking the players from. Okay. Wow. So we got to make sure that we're not deterring and staying away from these lists. because like she said, they are looking at these lists, and she admits, and what she said is correct. They may not be the best two players that she picked out at 14, but they were the ones that was on the recognized list, okay? So make sure we getting on these lists and we picking up points and we playing these sanctioned tournaments, okay? Don't be afraid to get out there and play with a tougher competition. If you beating the same kids week in, week out, expand your tournament schedule. It's going to make a difference. Expand your tournament schedule and go play some tougher kids, It make a difference.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. So you all, as we wrap up the podcast, Doc, give us your final thoughts on being one of the top teachers in the country. Give us your thoughts on junior golf. Just kind of wrap up our podcast in a Doc Blade way tonight.
All right. Well, the way I look at golf, I look at it a little bit different. When I got into golf, I studied it from an anatomical point of view. So I looked at what how the body performs and how the implement performs, okay? With the golf club, it's made a certain way. So a lot of people don't realize, so it's a limited amount of ways that we can swing that club, all right? So now what I did, I studied the body and see what's the most efficient way to get the club to swing correct with the body, all right? And then that's what I share with my kids. That's what I share with my adults, and it works. Like I said, it works from 5-year-olds, 4-year-old peewees up to super seniors, okay? The golf industry is in a prime position right now to take a big old bite out this apple. They're hungry. They're looking for us. They're looking for a new crop of players. The awareness is on because of all the social injustices going on in the world. Mm-hmm. Well, don't look at this from a negative point of view. Make sure you look at this as an opportunity. There's opportunity for us out there. Network with people, okay? I think Jamie that may be the same Jamie that has the Black Golf Directory.
Yeah, that's Jamie. Yes.
Okay, I thought that. Okay, great. Then make sure you look on the Black Golf Directory and finding out who's in the industry and things like that. All right, it makes a huge difference right there. Network, and get out there and talk to people. Junior golf is amazing right now. Junior golf is amazing. There's some amazing players, but make sure that we getting on board with them. Okay, Harold Varner. He's from Gastonia, okay? Mm-hmm. People don't know that Harold had a village. When they talk about it takes a village, Harold he had a village to get him where he's at today. And we have to make sure we're doing that for all our juniors, okay? Make sure we had that village mentality and we support them, regardless if they in like Gus Vitale, if they in the East Coast or they down there in South Carolina with like Roy's son, okay? Or they may be out in the West Coast. Don't make a difference. Make sure they have a village to back them up, all right? As long as we lift each other up and we don't tear each other down, we got a big future for this next crop of golfers in junior. Golf academies, one of the top golf academies, and we got backing from the top backers in the United States, and we going to roll that out, and we hitting it running. We doing African American brokers of Atlanta. We got them booked. You know what I'm saying? We got the hospitality industry booked. We're doing 3 seminars. We're doing 2 days of instruction with 1 day of golf. We going to break it out like Lee Haney, David Ledbetter. So keep your eyes open. We're going to be doing it big in Atlanta, and we know this is going to be the Mecca of golf. I know a lot of people hate hearing that, but Atlanta is going to be the Mecca of golf.
Hey, Doc, you on to something, because when you look at the BGA, Atlanta has the most members of the BGA, period. So, I think you on to something. I think y'all are doing a great job. You, Rich, and the rest of the crew down there in Atlanta. Keep doing what you're doing, Doc. Appreciate you coming on the show tonight. And let's give it up for Doc Blade, y'all. Give it up for Doc Blade.
Appreciate you guys.
Awesome, man.
Thank you, Doc.
All right. Signing off, guys. Thank y'all for being on the podcast tonight.
Take care, brother.
Thanks again, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.